Hi, welcome back to another episode of Student Teaching with Riri. And now we're on the week of April 13th, I believe. And it was a stressful-ish week, mostly because I had my senior project that Friday, and I didn't start it until Thursday night. So, not the greatest, most stress-free week, however, let's just get into it. Monday, nothing really happened. It was a pretty chill day. I finished conferencing with most of my students. I think I had like maybe 5 more left in the second period. But overall, it was pretty chill. Um, while I was conferencing, all my students were doing their poetry tournament. So how that worked was like there were 4 different divisions, I guess, and then each group got a different division. Eventually, all the students have seen all of these poems, but they had to keep writing and reasoning as to why one of these 2 poems would continue on to the next round. So they did 4 total rounds, I think, and then they had a semifinals, which we did as a whole class, and then a finals as a whole class. So overall, it was a really nice hands-off way to go through poetry, because my teacher did set up really well, like analyzing poetry and what does that mean, and it's very personal, and there are many ways or many reasons why poetry can be great, and many reasons why they're maybe something that you don't prefer. So that was awesome. It was a nice simultaneous moment. Anyway, Tuesday was fine, and I don't think anything happened there either. Something that did come up, which was funny, was while I was grading the 10th graders like articles that week, as always at 10 points, I gave them grades, and I gave a lot of students 8 out of 10s because that's, they're very proficient. And then a student comes up to me and she's like, which is the same student who found me on social media and like online, she was like, "You gave me a 0 out of 10. And I'm like, "No, I gave you an 8 out of 10. She's like, "That's basically a 0. Like, I failed. You're failing me. You're a hard grader." It's like, I'm not a hard grader. An 8 out of 10 is fabulous. And then we just kept going, like, we were bickering. It was funny. But I just kind of felt bad because these kids genuinely believe that an 8 out of 10 is bad. And it's like, no, was she joking? It's like, no, she was not joking. Because then another student chimed in. It's like, guys, relax. An 8 out of 10 is awesome. And you're all doing a great job. This is our first week writing paragraphs and analyzing articles like in this way. So it's okay, it's not perfect the first time, it's only uphill from here. And she was like, I don't want to hear it, which is fine. Wednesday, I came in late. I had a really bad headache from allergies. Allergies are awful this year. All my kids are sneezing, coughing, headaches, can't breathe. Like, I feel horrible for them. I had a really bad headache that day, which I never get. So that was lame. And then, oh, I forgot to mention, Monday and Wednesday for like the past 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks ago, I was visiting a special ed classroom because it's part of my observation hours, and that was really, really cool. Just because the days that I did go, they were running a cafe, and each student had a specific role. They would rotate. So like there was a barista, there was a snack grabber, there was a deliverer, there was a money handler, there's like candy grabber, things like that, and they all have specific roles, and just to see them work together and just have all like the students come up and order snacks was just really wholesome. They did such an amazing job. They handled big crowds amazingly, and it was a really cool program to see like my school, or the school that I'm at, do. So that was where I was for 6 hours in the span of 2 weeks, and I did end up going to one of their like more instructional classes on Tuesday of last week, and that was on nutrition. So it was nice to see them in the classroom too and see all the individualized support that they're getting. So definitely an amazing experience. I kind of wish I could keep going, but I have a lot of things to finish up. Something I forgot to mention was on Wednesday. I know the week before that I was talking about how I failed my introduction paragraph lesson with my 10th graders, but that week I did really well. We talked about topic sentences, and from that, all their topic sentences improved like exponentially. So that was really cool to see, really satisfying to know that they kind of took in some of the suggestions that I gave them through one-on-one conferencing. through the larger lesson, and then just overall like having those scaffolding sentence starter moments. But yeah, in the semester. So Wednesday was fine. Thursday was a chill day again. I think I've been having a lot of chill days just because I'm not in front of the classroom as much, but I was mostly really stressed because at that point I had not come up with a senior project, which is mildly embarrassing, kind of lame of me, but I came up with something eventually, but I'll walk you through the process. So it's called the problem of practice, which means like something that, educators might struggle with during their practice of educating. And the thing was, I wasn't having many problems, minus like the normal school things of like kids talking in class or like not turning stuff in time. And I just feel like those are very normal kid things, not things that are creating like a major problem for me. And maybe that will be a problem eventually, but I don't know. Whatever. So, try to think of a topic. I wish I did AI in education, but I didn't. My friend did it. She did a really amazing job for her like presentation. So I ended up thinking about like grading because that was the hardest thing so far that I had to do, like figuring out what grades, who deserves what grade. And I mean, last week, I gave everyone a really good grade, but I kept thinking about it now, and it's like I could have done a better job, but that's okay. It's my first time. I'm not too upset about it. But I also feel like that's a very deep and like also pedagogical, theoretical thing that I can't really do right now. Like I feel like I would need a lot more time to talk about something that's so broad. And then I was thinking about doing from grades. I went to that student who is like an 8 out of 10 is a 0. And then I was thinking about my honor students and how they're all perfectionists and how they're like constantly checking their grades or like worried about grades. Anything grade related, really, under the sun. So I was like, okay, maybe I can focus on a couple students. Like a student from 11th grade, a student who has an IEP, a GIEP, and a student who has an IEP in the 10th grade. And I was like, that's also too much because I need all their IEPs. I need to analyze it. I need to find evidence. And that's a lot of work too. And then I eventually thought about the one student who has a GIEP, which I then found out she has ADHD. And I was like, this is a really good topic because I learned so much about her and about like her specifically and her GIEP, what it entails, and her ADHD and what that means to her through her letters, through her artwork, through her writing, through her interactions, through what her mom says. And I could just talk about her because I have a lot of information on her and how she just processes things. So ended up doing that, ended up finishing the presentation at like 11 o'clock Thursday night, finished it up Friday morning at like 9 a.m. I was presenting at like 12 o'clock. So I ended up doing great, I think, and overall would not recommend doing anything last minute like that, especially a senior project. Not my proudest moment. I don't think I've ever been this locked out of schoolwork and just in general academic things. I feel like I'm so focused on just living and teaching and taking care of myself that school and like academics have been on the back burner. I'm just so behind on so many things. Like right now, I have something due on Friday that I have yet to. Actually, I did start, so I won't say that, but I have the harder work to do. I haven't started yet. Overall, I think that'd be a 10 out of 10 week, minus the stressful moment, but overall I'll turn into a 10 out of 10 because I did really well. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!